Tea time with Trav. Who need friends that are worse than your enemies? Nobody. Let's talk about Shanquella Robinson. Autopsy came back. She had a broken neck, a broken spinal cord. They said her face was swollen, her lip was bust open. What's going on, y'all? It's Ayootravv and I'm back, baby back. I'm back again. Y'all, I've never been to New York, but I always hear about a chopped cheese. So I found a recipe online for me to make them. Now, I hope I did it right. It looked good. Let me say grace first. Father God, I come today to ask you watch over this food. Please be a nourishment to my body. Please let me digest this food properly. You under my prayer. Amen, amen, one more time. Amen. Okay. My New Yorkers, what y'all think? Did I do it right? I mean, I know it's a little, it's kind of sloppy, but oh, everything just falling. Oh my God. It's good. Phoenix, get over here and sit down. Sit down. I clearly stuffed it with too much meat, y'all. Everything just following me. Slide this up here. So I use my, here's my ground beef. Seasoning, garlic powder, and Sazon. However you pronounce that. And I diced up my onion, put that in there as well, cooked it with everything. Drained it. And that's when I added a couple of tablespoons Worcestershire, however you pronounce that sauce. Once that cooked down a little bit, I didn't put my cheese. I use sliced cheese. Some videos I've seen people use sliced, some people use shredded. I put the sliced cheese, covered everything. Put that lid on top, melted it a little bit. Once it had melted down, stir everything up. Oh my God, y'all, look. It just looks so good. This is a big tomato. It's falling everywhere. I should have got me a spoon. Do I have a plastic one over here? Oh, I do. All right, y'all, let's go ahead and get into our topic for today. This is so good. It's kind of like a more mature sloppy Joe, if you will. Excuse me. Oh yeah, y'all. For the people that ordered their sauce in this last round, there was an issue with the distributor who makes the labels, which is why it took so long to go out. Now, unfortunately, I did have to send them out without the labels because it was going to be even longer before the labels got here, and I just felt like completely bad. But if anybody have any questions, comments, or concerns, you know you can always DM me. And we can go ahead and talk about everything from there if you need a one-on-one conversation. But let's get into our topic. Tea time with Trav. I want to pull up an article. I looked at. My bad. Who need friends? Everybody, right? Who need friends that are worse than your enemies? Nobody. Let's talk about Shanquella Robinson. First off, I want to say rest her soul. Rest her soul. Okay, y'all. So Shanquella Robinson was invited to Cabo, Mexico by her male best friend. Her mom talked to her that night, and Shanquella told her that they had a personal chef, and they were about to eat good and things like that and enjoy their night. That was the last time that her mother heard her daughter's voice. So the next day, the best friend, and we need to stop using that best friend word so loosely, but the best friend told her mom that she was laying down, she wasn't feeling good, they believed she had alcohol poisoning. So the mom has no reason to suspect that this person who calls himself her best friend will be lying about something like that. So he told her she was throwing up and things like that. And she was like, okay, just keep us informed on what's going on. We'll check in later. She speaks to him later that night, and he tells her that the ambulance is on their way to the Airbnb or hotel. And he says that they're performing CPR, they're trying to resuscitate her. Ultimately, she dies. They tell her that she dies from alcohol poisoning. Everybody on the trip returned home. Except for Shanquella. First and foremost, if anything happens to my best friend and I'm out of the country, I won't be coming back to that country. I mean, I won't be leaving that country unless my best friend is with me. So that right there was warning number one, red flag number one. Go sit down. That was red flag number one right there. So the mother said throughout the time, actually, let me want to be able to quote some things correctly. I pretty much know everything that I need to know to talk about. Okay, so before we start talking about the guy that went on live, the mother said that the best friend, he just kept coming around. He kept coming around the family, as if he did nothing wrong, and they have no reason to suspect that he did anything wrong. This is who they know to be her best friend. The sister did note that he seemed a little weird, like a little on edge. But she didn't think too much of it until the autopsy report came back. They were initially told that they didn't suspect any foul play based on their initial investigation. Autopsy came back. She had a broken neck. I believe broken spinal cord. And it's something else that I'm missing. But ultimately, foul play came into question because there's no way that she would get that from alcohol poisoning. The autopsy didn't say anything about alcohol poisoning. So that completely debunks their entire story. The mother said that they were sent pictures of her. They said her face was swollen, her lip was bust open, I think her eyes were swollen, just to name a few. Shortly after the autopsy report comes back, a video mysteriously appears online of what happened the day that Shanquella lost her life. Or they're assuming the day that she lost her life. In the video, one of the girls that was on a trip it doesn't show what led up to the fight. The video starts right before they start to fight. And it wasn't even a fight, if you ask me, it was an attack. Because Shanquella didn't fight back. And you could tell that she was visibly drunk. There were a lot of things alarming to me. Like, a lot. First off, she was in this room full of men and women. And she was completely butt naked. Breast out, butt out, like she was completely butt naked. So that right there was already alarming. Why was she the only one naked? I don't want to say why would she be naked, because sometimes we go on these trips with our friends and we do whatever's clever. You know what I'm saying? We might go skinny dipping or whatever. But it was the fact that she was the only one that was completely naked, and she seemed to be the only one that was visibly blacked out. Everybody else seemed like they could understand where they were and what was going on for the most part. I couldn't get that from her. So the girl starts punching her, and she's literally just beating her up because Shanquella's not fighting back. And in the video, you hear the guy recording, "Dang, are you going to hit her back?" And she clearly says no. And the girl swings her. And this is the part where some people are saying maybe this is where she had her back injury. Because when she swung her, you see her hit her back on the edge of the bed. And then maybe 2 seconds later, it cuts off. So I want to know what happened afterwards. And so does her family. And I think it's slowly but surely going to come out. And I say that because I believe one or two things happened with this video. Phoenix, get over here. Phoenix. One or two things happened with that video. Either Phoenix done knocked the light out. See, and this is what I'll be talking about. This is why you be in your cage. Sorry, y'all. So, one of two things happened. Either somebody ran their mouth and told somebody, which we see oftentimes in crimes. People have to at least tell one person. And that's normally how they end up getting caught. Oh, this one is real sloppy. I done broke the bottom bread off. So that's one way. Or, so, maybe they shared that video with someone, ended up leaking it. The other option is somebody that was there feels the guilt. They feel the guilt of what actually happened. So they drop that video to give some type of some type of insight, or maybe to even point the finger at one person. So it takes the attention off them, because if a girl died, well, if a girl is killed, let's be clear. If she's killed and she was on a trip with X amount of people, all of those people are going to be looked at as suspects. Unless you can clear your name with the receipts, all of y'all are probably going to go down. Go sit down. So that person could have leaked that video to point this finger, at least in this girl's direction. Because whatever caused them to start fighting can be looked at as a motive. So they may be trying to take a little dirt off of them and some other people that were there and say, look, this is who y'all need to be looking at. Or at least this is where you start. 60 minutes. Okay, so just because everyone was there doesn't mean everyone's involved. There's actually one guy who went live on Instagram and he talked about what he knew. He talked about the time that he landed, how long it took to get from the airport to the Airbnb, things like that. Now, some people are saying that his story was conflicting or something like that. I didn't see the initial story. I still don't even know what initial story they're talking about because I have yet to find anything. I think people just may be saying stuff word about them. So, everybody becomes social media detectives. But her family have released statements saying that they have reason to believe that he was not involved because of his timeline. They don't believe that he was involved. So according to him, he came a day later. Having this badass dog is really a hassle. Sit down. But according to him, he came later than everybody else. He did show flight times. And clearly, what I'm going to assume is clearly her family saw something more than what we did. For them to be like, he had nothing to do with it, 100%, he's in the clear. And I commend them for that, because oftentimes when I see crime documentaries, the family be going through so much grief that they blame everybody. They blame everybody because they want somebody to be held responsible. So I actually commend them for even being able to hear out what he was saying or see what he was showing, because it couldn't have been me. All of them, when I saw all of them, I would have been swinging immediately. So I commend them for being strong enough to at least hear him out. But I do hope that him or whoever else was not involved, if there's anyone else involved, I hope, or not involved, I'm sorry. I hope they do the right thing and say what they know. He do claim that when he got there, she was already kind of out of it, but he believed the same story that her family believed, that she had alcohol poisoning, and that's why she was laying down in the type of condition that she was in. But I guess what confuses me is if she had all of this done to her face, when he got there and saw her, he didn't notice anything that was wrong with her face. So that's the part of me that has me thinking maybe he's not as innocent as he say he is. Maybe he's not. Maybe he didn't participate in what happened. But if you covering up the truth, feel like at some point, you need to go down too. I don't. If her face is as bad as they're making it seem, how did he not? How did he not think something more was wrong than alcohol poisoning? And why? Why didn't he tell this story before? You know, he told the story after the video came out. It just seemed like he's just, I don't know. I honestly just think he know a little bit more than what he's saying. That's all I'm saying. Do I think he participated in it? Maybe not. If his receipts are true. But if you covering up a murder, you guilty. Just as much as them. I don't care. You're an accessory. Oh yeah, I'm kind of full. That was good. It was good for my first chopped cheese. Now I wonder what a chopped cheese tastes like in New York. Because I'm sure it's going to be completely different like this. Y'all know I can't stand Philly. I hate Philly from the bottom of my heart. But a cheesesteak in Atlanta or anywhere else compared to a cheesesteak in Philly, a whole new world. That's what that was. Oh yeah, I'm about to go ahead and sign out. They were, oh my God. Whew. You already know what to do. Check the description box below for the website, www.ayootravv.com. They get the air sauce, the air merch, the air drip, all that. If you have not subscribed to the channel, the red bar right there, boom, hit the bell right there, boom, so you can notified each and every time I drop a video. But if and only if you want to stay connected with the Ayootravv, jump back into the description box, go down to the bottom, brrr, boom. Right there and there, you're going to see all my social media. All of them. Add me, follow me, leave me a comment, DM, do all that. Let me know what you like, what you don't like, what you want to see, what you don't want to see, what you want me to say, what you don't want to say, what you want me to do, what you don't want to do, something. Other than that, it's been real. Ayootravv is out.